Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for being here and for adjusting to this earlier time. I am super excited to be here amongst our students. As you know, this year our district has really focused widely on improving our literacy across our elementary schools with the most recent adoption of a curriculum, a brand new curriculum where all our teachers are working on similar themes and incredible readings, as well as developing great writers. And one of the things we launched this year was the first ever elementary poetry contest across our district. And this is all part of our belief in reading and writing being some of the most important skills any student can learn that really unlocks the doors for every other subject area, if you ask my personal opinion. Of course, I know we have scientists and mathematicians and artists, but I really believe in literacy as just such a key lifelong skill. And so part of this work and part of launching this poetry contest was to make sure that we can inspire all our students to become lifelong readers and writers in any topic that they choose. So while I asked Dr. Mallory Price to come up to help me announce the winners, I will ask our board president to please read us a short poem.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Maldonado. I just want to say I had such a privilege to read the poems, so thank you for the opportunity to read all the poems and see the great poetry that we have in this district. In the district's poetic fray, winners rise with words at play. In halls where verses softly sing, they're crowned as champions of the spring. Back to you.
Thank you so much. With that, Dr. Price, please come on up and help us with introducing additional poets in the room who will be reading some of their poems to us tonight. And we are going to turn off the projector up here. Where they will be coming up to the dais to read their poem, and then we'll do the presentation of certificates.
How's that? Better? I definitely need a mic. We actually do have a few slides to share first before we have our poets come up. I promise to be quick because I know what we really want to hear from is our poets tonight. All right. So you'll see it in just a minute. Over here. Here it is. I'd like to just share a little bit of background information about the poetry contest before we bring up our poets. This first annual poetry contest was truly an honor to coordinate. It was open to all TK through 6th grade students in Santa Barbara Unified, and for this inaugural year, the theme was identity. Poetry is such a lovely way to explore our inner and outer lives, and by writing poems about ourselves, we come to better understand ourselves and our world. We encourage students to submit poems using all of the languages that they speak, and poems could be submitted into one of 5 categories. So there were TKK1 collaborative poems, so those were poems that could have been written as an entire class, kindergarten, 1st grade individual poems, 2nd and 3rd grade individual poems, 4th and 5th grade individual poems, and 6th grade individual poems. Here's what you should be seeing. So tonight we get to honor the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, as well as honorable mention award recipients in each category. So the committee that reviewed the poems consisted of myself, as well as Sandy Robertson, the literacy coach at Santa Barbara Community Academy, Denise Alvarado, the executive director of elementary, Donna Ronzoni from the Santa Barbara Education Foundation, Allison Quijano, our secondary ELA instructional support specialist, as well as board president Sims Moten. And so last week we worked individually to review all of the poems. As was shared, I think already, there were over 220 submissions, which was incredible, including poems from students in all grades and all schools, including Peabody. After an initial review, we met to review those that rose to the top based on the criteria outlined by the rubric that was shared with our parents and students. And these were just some of the broad categories that we reviewed each submission for inclusion of. Our final review was challenging, to say the least. While it was an incredibly joyful experience, it was also really hard. And I see Board President Sims Moten nodding her head in agreement. We would have loved to have honored each and every poet who submitted their work. They were truly all beautiful. And at the end of our final review, we had collectively agreed upon our award recipients, those who we are here to celebrate tonight. So, before we bring up each poet for them to receive a certificate, we have a few poets who volunteered to read their poems for us tonight. And we have a microphone set up here for our poets. So as I read your name, you may go up to the mic and share your poetry with us. So first I'd like to invite Lillian Kleinbecker, and I apologize if I mispronounce any names. Feel free to correct me. A fourth grader at Franklin, up to share her poem with us. Thank you. Phew.
Okay, so the poem I'm going to share today is Ode to Running. The big grassy field is waiting for me. For all I know, it's all I can see. I take off my shoes, my socks, and my hat, and stuff them all into my backpack. I start to run. I almost feel unhinged from the ground, flying and flapping my wings. Maybe the other kids are staring, but I stay the same, flying and flapping my wings. Running is a part of me. Just wait and see. I am Lillian, and that's the best I can be.
Thank you, Lillian. Our next poet reader will be McKenna Hale. Heil, thank you. A sixth grader from Monroe.
Okay. The poem that I'm reading today is called How Cool Are You? I'm cool, but maybe not as cool as a cold pool. I have good friends, but we don't do TikTok silly trends. We would rather hang out and have fun. Things like watching movies, tons. Things like using our imagination, because in this nation, I feel like kids forget they are kids a lot. They pretend they're adults even though they're not. They think they're better than all of us, and they cuss. But you know what? They're not. They're just not using the skills they were taught. So I guess the lesson is, don't grow up when you're 12, but don't live on the highest shelf. Stay a kid a little longer, it'll make you a little stronger.
Thank you, McKenna. Our next poet reader is Maya Torres, a second grader at Roosevelt.
The poem that I'm reading is Round Trip to Mexico. When I need each tortilla, it makes me feel at home. I'm smelling pozole, I feel better love. Touching the sea, I dance to the rhythm of the waves. And when my feet touch the sand, I feel complete calm. Working as a team, I never give up. Every basket I'll make, in the end I will reach. If you see my eyes, you'll understand the happiness I feel when I walk hand in hand with my family. You'll never see me stop.
Thank you, Maya. And if I'm correct, I believe Maya also submitted her poem in Spanish. She had two versions. Maya, did you bring your copy in Spanish?
De ida y vuelta a México, cuando amaso cada tortilla me hace sentir en casa. Estoy oliendo pozole, me siento muy amada. Tocando el mar, bailo al ritmo de las olas. Y cuando mis pies tocan la arena, siento una calma completa. Trabajo en equipo, nunca me rindo. Cada canasta meteré, al final yo ganaré. Si tú ves mis ojos entenderás la felicidad que yo siento al caminar. De la mano con mi familia nunca me verás parar.
Thank you again, Maya. Our next poet reader is Isla Cooney in 5th grade at Harding.
The title is What is My Identity? My identity is formed through my friendships. My friends give me hope in life. Through their laughs and through their smiles, I feel warm and calm with the reassuring sound and sight. My identity is formed through music. Music can bring out emotion and color, the words of the song forming new beauty and meaning. As the words and colors dance through the no longer empty air, it can make me feel calm and light or static and alive. My identity is formed in happiness and creativity. The way my dog could feel and understand my emotions, laying his warm, soft head on my lap when needed most. Licking my wet face with so much enthusiasm, it makes me burst out into laughter. My identity is my creativity, a form of my creative thoughts and ideas of my enthusiasm and happiness. That is my identity.
Thank you, Isla. And I believe our last poet reader tonight is Emerson Johnson, a first grader at Roosevelt.
No one's asked me this. No one's asked me this question before. I'm right here. I love watercolors. I love Easter. I love all holidays. I love travel. I love new places. I make flip books. I go to school most days, but not to Sundays. I hug my mom every day. I am tall. I am fun.
Thank you, Emerson. And I just want to double check that I'm not forgetting any poets that wanted to read that volunteered. Did you want to read your poem? Yeah? All right. That's right. All right, we have Victoria Fenkner. Is that correct? Yep. Thank you.
Who am I and who should I be? That is the fishy question of identity. If I'm a shark and can hunt in the sea, will you pull me off the pier or encourage me? What school of fish will swim with me? Who will be my friends if I choose to swim free? Predators may hunt me however they please, but whatever they do, please do not tease. I can change my thoughts, but not my scale or skin, nor can anyone change their next of kin. If I must decide on what I should be, I shall identify as myself, the one and only me.
All right, and I think we have a special guest reader reading a poem on behalf of one of our kindergarten poets, Sloan Shaw.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariel Curry. I'm the principal at Washington Elementary School, and I'm so proud to read Sloan Shaw, who's one of our kindergarten students' poem. You ready? Okay. Love. I'm a little girl who can do big things. When the wind blows,
The trees make music.
at every rest,
I make a mess.
but every day
I feel amazing.
and every time
I lose a tooth, there's magic in there.
I met an owl in my dreams
I met an owl in my dreams,
and shooting stars.
flying all day inside me.
Well done, Sloan.
All right, last call for any poets that would like to read their poem that I missed. Okay. Thank you, poets, for sharing your poetry with us. I think that was the highlight of my year. And we'd now like to invite up each of our poets to shake hands with Dr. Maldonado and some of our board members, as well as receive their certificate. The first names that I'm going to share actually I don't think they're here tonight, but they're the classrooms that wrote poems together. So they won't be coming up to get a certificate, but I wanted to make sure that they were honored tonight. We had Adriana Solano's class, who won first place, and it's a kindergarten class at Franklin School. Second place went to Allison Troop's TK class at Roosevelt. Our third place winner was Megan Combs' TK class, also at Roosevelt. And our honorable mention in this category went to Amalia Stakowiak's first grade class, also at Roosevelt. So now I will share the award recipients in the K1 poem category. And these poems stole our hearts. So you'll have a chance to hopefully read the poems in our district office at some point. We'd like to post them somewhere, since we only got to hear from some of our poets tonight. As I read each poet's name, if the poet could stand up and join us up here to receive their certificate, and once you have, you can go back and sit down with your family. So our first place winner in the K1 category is Sloan Shaw. Our second place winner is Charlotte Nunez from Peabody. Our third place winner is Lila Ochoa from Roosevelt. We will make sure that Lila gets her certificate. And our honorable mention is Emerson Johnson, also at Roosevelt. All right, and now we're moving on to the second and third grade poem category. The first place winner in this category was Victoria Fankner, whose poem you heard, from Washington. Our second place goes to Monty Grease from Roosevelt. Our third place goes to Maya Torres from Roosevelt. And our honorable mention in this category goes to Kai Buck, a second grader at Peabody. And we're moving on to our fourth and fifth grade category. The first place in this category went to Lillian Kleinbecker, whose poem we heard, from Franklin. Second place went to Isla Cooney, whose poem we also heard, from Harding. And third place went to Arya Mato in 5th grade at Roosevelt. And our last category of poet winners is our 6th grade poets. So first place in this category went to McKenna Heil from Monroe. Second place went to Ava Pomer from Peabody. Third place went to Owen Thompson from Roosevelt. And our honorable mention, there were 2 honorable mentions in this category. The first went to Maya Hernandez Serrano from Monroe. And another honorable mention went to Emma Frias from Roosevelt. All right, can we give one more big round of applause to all of our poets?
If you can line them up and you be there too.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you guys are good. If you guys. All right, big smiles, please. 1, 2, 3. Ready again? Big smiles. 1, 2, 3.